Good morning. It is 8:28 a.m. on Friday, April 29th, 2022. I'm Christiana Ellis and I did not just get up. This is 5 more minutes. I did actually realize that I had something to do a little bit earlier than I had anticipated this morning, and so I had to go ahead and get to that before doing this video. And so now that I have a window, I'm coming back for it. So I hope you all understand. Um, Last night I had a more or less free evening, and I had talked a little bit here and on Twitter about the possibility of doing a little bit more game streaming. And I still have an interest in that, although oddly enough, last night was sort of the first window where I felt like this would be a good time to do that, and yet I still didn't feel like it. This is revisiting a little bit what I was talking about with the idea that sometimes what I want from the game is to just kind of, disappear into that world. And the idea of having to sort of be on, especially like on camera or talking, is feels like it would be disruptive of that. And so I was kind of just not feeling that yesterday. But it does kind of raise to me a little bit of a question of like, so even though the times that I've played games I didn't necessarily feel like streaming, what is it about the idea of streaming that does make me feel like I do want to do it? I guess sometimes I feel like I would like to be talking through stuff like that. And also I can recognize the idea that I don't necessarily need to be on camera or talking through. Like I could set it up to stream, even without those things. It's not like I'm necessarily, you know, dying to become a big influencer in gaming. I mean, that's, you know, I think simultaneously not likely and also not really something I think I would want. Now, that said, having a few people, people that I know or people who are interested, hanging out while I play games, like that seems fun. So maybe I just need to jump into it, but also not to force it if I'm not feeling it. So yesterday, what I actually did is I jumped into a little bit of Lego Star Wars. And Lego Star Wars, like many of the Lego video games, has kind of the main story levels and then a whole lot of open world type of stuff that where you can do mini quests and explore areas and look for treasures and get upgrades and unlock new characters and all of that sort of business. So in this case with Lego Star Wars, you have the story levels, which are actually integrated with some of the open world areas in the sense that you have the main story levels, which are parts of the movies. This is the Skywalker saga, so it's those 9 movies. Does not seem to include, any of the TV shows or Solo or Rogue One. Although you can get, little minifig packs to have characters from those movies. But in between, some of the areas that are sort of less action packed, or that just take place in one of the places that they have as an open world area, it's just in between. It'll give you this little moment where you can just run around and do whatever you want, or you can go ahead and follow this little prompt that says, go this way to continue the story. And so, for example, when you show up in Mos Eisley, when you're playing episode 4, you can run around and do stuff in Mos Eisley, but when you're ready, you go to the cantina and you can find Han Solo, right? And then so, it seems pretty fun so far. It mixes up the way that Lego games have played for a while. The perspective is a little different. It's a little bit more like tight third person instead of like fixed camera where you're a little character running around on the screen. The camera now follows your character much more tightly, almost like a third person action game. And the combat is a little bit more complex And especially, I think probably the big reason for them to make this change is, blasters are so heavily focused in Star Wars that they kind of wanted to have an ability to, you hold L2 trigger and fire with the right trigger and you can target where you're shooting, as opposed to what they've done in the past, which is either have it very generically aimed, or you aim by moving a little target crosshair, with the joystick, that's separate from your character, and it doesn't feel aimed in the same way. And so the intent is to sort of embody you in the character a little bit more. And yeah, I don't know. It's a change, but I feel like I dig it, and it's very light and silly. It takes there's obviously a lot of love for the Star Wars properties, but it takes time to it's has a lot of fun with them. Um, just little interstitial bits where it's telling the story, but um, it makes a running gag in the Death Star sections of Episode 4, where the there's the line where Darth Vader's like, I sense something, a presence I've not felt since, and then he kind of just trails off in the movie. But in the game, it makes a running gag of kind of cutting back to him and just saying, wait, was it this guy? No, 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 that's not it. Gosh, who is this? Just can't think of this person. And, just going on and on like that. And it's pretty fun. So, and there seems like a lot of content there. So I played through the story missions of Episode 4, but then you can still go back and do them in free play and unlock new treasures. And then, of course, there's the 8 other missions, and then all the open world stuff. Lots to do there. In any case, I've got to get back to work, so I'm going to leave it there, and I'll talk to you all tomorrow for 5 more minutes. Yay!